This is the story of the piglin, how they started out as normal pigs, went into the nether, evolved into the piglin, were forced to mine gold, fought a heroic battle against the wither, and led an enormous revolt against the people enslaving them. Let's start from the beginning. This is Billy and his friend Brutus. They are only baby pigs right now, but they will soon become piglins. They are eager to explore the outside world. Brutus? Yeah, Billy? I'm sick of being in these tiny pig pens. Let's escape. I'm not sure, man. We've never been outside these fences. Come on, let's escape. I heard there are pigs out there who are free. Maybe we can live with them or something. Okay, but how are we gonna get out? Can't we just... Billy and Brutus figured out a way to open the fence gate and they ran out, finally able to enjoy freedom. When Billy and Brutus escaped, the old man who owned the pigs quickly tied a leash on both of them and brought them back into the pig pen. Ah well, it was worth a shot. But as the old man was putting them into their pig pens again, a messenger came and asked him something surprising. Hey man, don't put those pigs in their pen. The king is actually looking for pigs to test an experiment he calls Operation Nether. How much do I need to pay you? It's okay. Money becomes less important when you're older, you know? I'll do it for the king. That's pretty humble of you. You can watch the experiment with us if you like. We have no clue what's beyond a nether. The messenger, the old man, and the baby pigs went together to meet the king. They found the king and a few scientists with him in the middle of an isolated plains biome where a huge portal was constructed. The portal was built far away in case it exploded or something. Billy and Brutus were struck with awe when they saw the massive portal. Being the adventurous type they were immediately eager to go in. In theory, it should activate once we light it, a scientist explained, but it's very risky. We have no clue what lies beyond the portal. That's why we'll use the pigs as literal guinea pigs and see what happens. The king prepared to light the portal. The others hide behind some protection just in case. As soon as the portal ignites, the earth begins to shake, and netherrack and lava start pouring out of the portal. It's still unclear why this happened. It's now time to let the pigs in, said the king. There was no need to hold Billy and Brutus onto a leash, as they immediately stood in front of the portal, eager to go in. They looked at each other, nodded, and went in. Hopefully they would meet each other on the other side. Billy and Brutus entered the nether dimension. We're alive, said Billy. Or are we, said Brutus. The baby pigs looked around and noted how hot the place was. At this time, the Minecraft Nether didn't have crimson and warped forests. The Nether looked like what it was before the Minecraft 1.16 Nether update. I wonder what we're standing on, said Brutus. While Brutus was examining what we now know as netherrack, Billy got a little close to some fire. Billy started burning. Brutus quickly oinked. We need to go back. They quickly rushed to the nether portal. They only had a few seconds left to make it. Will Billy survive? Billy and Brutus burst through the portal. The others are amazed and terrified. A scientist quickly pulls out a water bucket. I had prepared just in case something bad like this happened. He also threw a splash potion of healing on the baby pig. Billy barely survived. Do you think it's safe? Said the king. Remember, people can't understand what pigs say yet. I'm not sure. Those pigs didn't even stay in the dimension for more than 5 minutes, said a scientist. They decided that since the pigs were able to come out alive, they sent more pigs, along with some humans, into the nether. When they entered, they were shocked by the new frontier they had found. Researchers started coming in, and they documented the vast quantities of gold that were present in the nether. There was rumors that there was a material stronger than diamond, which angered the diamond priests. Naturally, people saw this as a golden opportunity to get rich quick. People from all over started coming into the nether, but most people early on made careless mistakes. For example, strip mining in the nether with your face next to a wall. Around this time, biologists discovered that mushrooms were able to grow in the nether, and pretty soon mutations of mushrooms were able to flourish in the nether. The nether was being terraformed. Billy and Brutus were adult pigs by now, and they were amazed by how quickly the nether was being industrialized. Bastions were constructed as base of operations to mine gold, and the gold would also be useful in making netherite. Pigs were brought into the bastion too. Proof of this is that some bastions are called hoglin stables. Wow, things have really changed, said Billy. This place used to be a desolate wasteland. Yeah, it's quite incredible, said Brutus. Well, what do we do now? Even though Billy and Brutus had successfully completed their mission, they were still as hungry as ever for more adventure. The pigs met a blonde-haired scientist who needed pigs to experiment on to create the first living humanoid pigs. He noted that whenever a pig was struck by lightning in the overworld, it would become a zombie piglin. If they could replicate this in the Nether, who knows what might happen? We could become like the Minecraft humans, said Billy. The pigs were put into laboratory tubes, and the scientist flicked the lever. The ground started to shake once more, and it was successful. The pigs were now piglins. Billy and Brutus admired their arms. After this successful experiment, new piglins were being created, and the first piglins lived happily ever after, right? Unfortunately, no. The king was worried about the rapid number of piglins that were reproducing on their own now. He had a devious plan to use them to mine gold. "Attention, piglins," said a guard. "There's been a change of plan. You are to head to the bastion." The piglins in the town murmured but agreed. When all the piglins got there, the entrance to the bastion was locked. The king came out. "You are to mine gold now. Here are your pickaxes." The piglins were horrified. Billy and Brutus felt betrayed. Was this not the same person who had helped them before? "How much do we get paid?" said a piglin. The king said nothing. Billy and Brutus now had to work in the mines. It quickly became very boring. A group of piglins tried to create a union, demanding pay. Unfortunately, it was violently put down. The gold that was mined was put into the center of the bastion. Some rebellious piglins hid the gold they mined into the walls of the bastion. The piglins were held bondage, but soon enough, things would get better for the piglins. In the ancient builders' experiments in creating life, they had accidentally created the Wither. It started to destroy everything in the bastion, and in their desperation, the ancient builders decided to arm the piglins to help them fight the Wither. The piglins were given weapons and crossbows. The commanders were the piglin brutes. And fun fact, piglins will attack the Wither in vanilla Minecraft. Billy and Brutus were recruited, and they were excited once more. "Alright men," said the piglin brute, "we're going to defeat this monster." Piglins with gold swords in the front, and archers in the back, flankers on the sides. March in 2x4 formation. The piglins marched head-on into the Wither. The Wither was out of reach to most of the infantry, so the archers did most of the damage. The Wither was destroying the whole bastion, which is why it is now a ruined bastion. A huge battle ensued. The big issue with their battle formation is that the Wither could swiftly move wherever it wanted. The piglins weren't mobile enough. The archers were slowly chipping away at the Wither's health. The battle ensued. Unfortunately for the piglins, the Wither was winning, and it was destroying the bastion from the inside out. The piglins became a disorganized mess, and the people fled. The Wither moved elsewhere to continue its rampage. "I can't believe it," said Billy. "We lost." "It's alright," said Brutus. "At least we're alive." The masters quickly regained control of the bastion and threatened the piglins to work in the mines again. The piglins realized that this time they held the real power, for the masters had armed them with weapons. "Why should we listen to you anymore?" said a piglin. The king, sitting down, talked to the piglins face to face. "We don't make you guys mine gold just to make us wealthy. There has been a big plague that we have been trying to cure. Players have been turning into zombies, and more keep coming. The only cure we know of is using a golden apple and weakness potion. We need the gold to save our people. Please understand." The piglins murmured between themselves. Some of the piglins had pity on the ancient builders, while others said that the players were not their problem anymore, and that they should finally be free. Billy decided to step in. "Piglins, my friend Brutus and I were the first pigs to enter the Nether. We saw firsthand how pigs were used as cheap food sources, then as free labor. And now, us piglins fought a brutal war against the Wither, in which we had no reason to fight. The king has betrayed us. It is time we finally become free from the influence of others." The piglins cheered. Their cheering was quickly abrupted though, when the king yelled, "It is war then!" Staring directly at Billy and Brutus, he said, "I trusted you." Then he walked away. The piglins were happy and anxious at the same time. They finally had freedom, but they knew the players would come back and attack them soon. Billy and Brutus reorganized the piglin army, recreating the old battle formations. They used their now huge quantities of gold to create more weapons and armor. To make sure the piglins wouldn't accidentally hurt each other or their secret allies, they were told not to attack anyone wearing gold armor. And the day came when the large army of players started coming out of the portal. The king was in full netherite. The final battle broke out. The plague the players had was infecting some of the piglins, zombifying them. It was a bloody battle. After hours of fighting, a group of piglins assaulted the king, but he survived though at half a heart. Brutus realized this and prepared his final shot. The king panicked and started charging at him. Brutus only had one chance. Brutus kills the king, but Brutus is killed as well. Billy looks over and is horrified, not even able to move or say anything. The other players flee, and the piglins cheer, except Billy. He cries in agony over the loss of his friend. The king's broken netherite armor was put into the center chest. The piglins were now free. Some decided to stay in the bastion, while others moved into the Crimson Forest biomes, the biome most habitable for piglins. Another variant of the pig, the hoglin, had evolved there. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the story, consider subscribing.